All right, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Limitless Crypto. My name is Lorenzo Corrado. It's an absolute pleasure to host you here on this beautiful Friday. Let's have some fun together. Let's analyze the charts together. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin is actually coming down at this particular moment. However, we have some ideas for this weekend. A vision, a mission. We're going to talk about everything here. Yes, guys, it's Friday. You know what it means here. It's time to celebrate. Okay.
It's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday, then. It's Saturday, Sunday, what?
Let's go. Get some hype in the chat. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, guys, it's time to take it very, very serious here. We're most likely going to experience some sort of interesting price action this weekend here. And the reason why is obviously because we have, of course, something very interesting coming up here. And that is what we call the first retail exposure after the ETF approval here. So really looking forward to it. We're going to see, we're going to find out exactly what we can expect here over the next coming hours. Most importantly, though, I think it's also time to just, start from scratch with our analysis. I think that this is kind of key right now to talk about as well. Just clean everything up and just go through it together. I think this is always a good thing to do on a Friday, whatever the case may be, like a full-on breakdown analysis from scratch. So you practically see also how I personally look at the markets and how I dissect certain levels and everything in that manner right here. Okay, looking forward to that. All right, a couple things though. Like I said before, Ethereum, I shared this post right here on my Twitter. So if you haven't followed my Twitter yet, it's time to follow my Twitter here because I'm gonna, really drop some bombs there the next coming days and maybe even weeks or maybe even months ahead of us here. Okay. At the 8th of January, I said, following the approval of Bitcoin ETFs, Ethereum speculation will peak in February and March. Ignoring the FUD, I am slowly building and scaling a futures position on this opportunity for Ethereum. All right. Now, Ethereum, since the 8th of January here, has broken out of a weekly resistance. And we have been coming up around 20% right now. So things are looking very, very good. This is going to be a major key chart to look at during this weekly closure. Okay. So this weekend, we have to really pay very close attention to the Ethereum chart here and the price action on Ethereum, because it's doing something very interesting right now. And the hype is absolutely real. Okay, fantastic. Now, let's go to Bitcoin first. Obviously, we have been coming down here. The market has been coming down as well. However, something that I've noticed already previously earlier today is the following. And that is that in regards to, Bitcoin and the Bitcoin dominance, the Bitcoin dominance has been dropping just as hard here, okay? So that means that most money currently is flowing out of Bitcoin. Of course, altcoins are following along. It's definitely not reality that, altcoins are just going to stay up and Bitcoin is going to come down here. But when you see this, let's go to the BitGet futures, and you see this here, like there are still tons and tons of particular, currencies right now in green, which is kind of unusual, okay? And especially when Bitcoin dumps, that's significant here. Let's take the daily candle or as an example. Okay, and we just go from the high to the low here right now. This is a 4% drop for Bitcoin. Usually when Bitcoin drops 4% and the Bitcoin dominance comes up here, then altcoins are getting absolutely destroyed. We're talking about 10%, 15%, whatever the case may be, absolutely destroyed here. Because the Bitcoin dominance is coming down so aggressively right now, you can see that altcoins are actually holding up much better. Definitely altcoins are losing out overall during the day here. It's not perfect, but again, it's much better than we initially anticipated. So, the altcoins are holding up tremendously here. Now, of course, we also have to understand, where at this particular moment is that actual selling pressure coming from, right? That's something that we would like to know here. Wow. Well, the stock market has just opened up here. So if you just literally look at when the stock market opened up and now the Bitcoin, spot ETF is approved and is listed and it's absolutely running, you can already see right now that, just an hour ago or so, yeah, you can see right now at the moment that, we have been coming down right away. So, this is just, in my opinion, it's kind of a sell the news event, okay? Something that we have already anticipated right here after the run up here. Okay, we saw, of course, that major run up. We started to come down. We had that one more exposure. Also in the Bitcoin dominance here. And if you go to the Bitcoin price itself, you can see the same thing happening right there, right? Yesterday, one more time, we got the listing. All right, perfect. We came down, listing came down, and we shoot up one more time. And then we said, okay, after the pump, we expect a retracement. And that's currently what we're going through. We're going through that retracement right now at this particular moment. So, what we need to look at is just the levels that we need to know and understand in order for us to move forward here. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, first of all, let me just really quickly see what's happening in the chat. Who's supporting us from the beginning of this channel? Okay, I think that's it's something special. It's something special. It's something that I will remember for the rest of my life. All right, that you guys are here right now listening to this new channel right here. I will not forget. Okay, Light has. Good to see you, my friend. Marton, Moltres, P Dizzle, Toxic, CB Key Media says getting prepared. The crypto noob says Ethereum to the moon. Igor, the legend Igor, Ant. Hello, my man. We have Mariana. Mariana, as always, supporting the channel, supporting the Discord. Absolutely amazing to have you in the community, Mariana. Great to see you there. That's Maria Gonzalez, as always. Fantastic here. Lighthead. Maurits, you're back. Good to see you, my friend. Anna is here. Anna, welcome to the channel. Billy Joe, Adrian, Bart Simpson, and Mr. Alfredo in the building as well here. Amazing. That's great. Okay, quick shout out, of course, to the Terminator here. Okay, we call him Terminator Tim for a reason. He officially has changed his profile picture into Terminator Tim now. We kind of forced him to do so because he deserves that title, okay? Terminator Tim, update trading overview on the Signal channel that we have in our Discord. It's a free Signal channel that you can join. Only thing that you have to do is to go into our Discord right now. Click on the link right now below. Join our Discord to get access. And then go to the instructions manual. I will clarify it a bit later. But anyways, portfolio growth 73.5%. In January, 62.5% win rate. 16 trades, 10 wins, 6 losses. Once again, this proves, as always here, that you do not have to win every single trade. Okay, that's never the intention here. We're not talking about winning every single trade. We're talking about making money. Okay, so as long as we stick to the right principles, such as a solid risk management, a major understanding of risk to reward, and perfect execution. Okay, then with the right strategy, then things should be turning out well for you as well. So a lot of guys are making money right now. This is absolutely amazing. Pavel, Injective, John, 65% on Arbitrum, Marton, TRB, Harsh, Rose. Nice. Looking good, man. Good job, guys. Good job. Very proud of you. Okay. Keep it up. Keep it up in the VIP. Things are looking absolutely amazing. Okay. Bitcoin is coming down. So this is very important. Okay. Very important. Now let's talk about the weekly first. Obviously, you guys know it here. Okay. BlackRock, spot ETF approved. ARK, spot ETF approved. 10 other ones are approved. Okay. Fantastic. We're running. We're listed. Everything is working. Now, think about the following factor. These guys are a master, you could say analysts right there, okay? They know what's up. They have done their due diligence. They do their research. They're managing trillions and trillions of dollars. So, if you ask them, hey, is it better to buy Bitcoin now, or is it better to buy Bitcoin in a dip when price potentially comes down here? Then they most likely will say, no, when price comes down here. Not when price is in a weekly area of supply here, okay? not when price is reaching major resistance right now at this particular moment, okay? So speculation and hype, everything that we've seen and talked about here, $100,000 Bitcoin, $80,000, $250,000 Bitcoin in a couple of weeks. It's all fun and games, but again, let's look at it level by level, okay? Current level, resistance, strong resistance to be exact, okay? That strong resistance was at around the $48,000. We talked about that here. We did break it temporarily. Okay, we took out, and this is a major accomplishment, by the way. Congratulations one more time to Bitcoin right here, right now. Very nice, well done. You have just broken the yearly or the previous yearly high right here. That's great. That's great news in general, okay? So we have broken the previous yearly high. So 2024 so far have been crushing it already. It's a good start of the year. But again, we are now coming down and we're getting rejected here. So again, if you draw this line at 46.85, that's practically this area of resistance right here that you can see. You can also draw this area of supply here. You know, there are so many confluences coming together. It's also the 618 Fibonacci from the weekly, okay? That's also usually not really good sign here. It's actually perfect if you look at the rejection here, how beautifully it came into that area of resistance right there. So, you know, overall, major resistance right now at this particular moment for Bitcoin. Okay, so I mean, yes, you know, you can be extremely bullish, and we are all extremely bullish together, and we have a great vision for Bitcoin this year. It's going to be probably one of our biggest years of our lives in that manner. That's my vision, that's my perspective here. But it does not mean that we might be coming down here. And the way to look at it here is just by simply waiting now to see how we close this weekly candle. Because if you close this weekly candle, in my opinion, below the 46,854, then I think there is a high likelihood of a potential retracement, because that means that we have seen a strong weekly rejection candle formation. Okay, so that means that, you know, the next candle could create a top wick one more time. That means that we slightly come up next week and then flip again, and then just actually start coming down a little bit here towards potentially lower levels. Now, is it something to worry about? I don't think so. I think it's healthy price action. I think it's actually somewhat of a necessity. Like I said before already many times here, when you go to the weekly time frame on all the total one chart, or on the total one chart right here, the total market cap, right, of the previous data all the way since like 2014, you know, out of every single major cycle and breakout and halving, you know, you have seen at least one retracement to test that previous resistance, to flip it into support, and to then look for further continuation. 2021, we did exactly the same thing. We had this major consolidation, sign of a bear market right here. We topped out at around $777 billion when Bitcoin hit 20K in 2018, early 2018. And then we broke out, retested it, and came up. Now, the same thing happened regardless, one more time here. And again, we are now in critical resistance also on the total one chart. So again, a pullback is actually, in my opinion, more of a healthy thing than a bad thing it is, okay? As traders, for us though, it doesn't really matter. We will find ways to trade it to make money. And while we're trading and making money, we're creating cash flow in order to stack our positions. So when we're making money to the downside, we can then at the downside start buying some of our favorite projects and then, you know, ride that whole wave up again. Okay, so for now, I think that that's for me a major indicator right now that Bitcoin might be coming down here. But of course, now going to the lower time frames, this is where we really start an analysis right now. Is okay. That's now clear. We are coming down. We are coming down significantly here. What are kind of like the key levels that we have to look for right now? Well, one of the key levels right now, in my opinion, is still the 44.2. Okay. And that's the main reason is, of course, that we are, you know, practically on the top of this range right here. At the same time, this is also an area of resistance right there. You know, and also an area of resistance right there. We have only retested it this once quickly with a wick. I think a proper retest will come at any given moment right now. So, you know, the next key level to look at, in my opinion, is the 44.2. 44.2K here. Now, when you look at the book map as well, this is also where you can see the majority of orders placed right now. Okay, roughly around the 44, 44.2, 44.5K at this particular moment. So, you know, we're kind of holding on right now. barely though. Okay, but you can see that that is definitely, in my opinion, a level to look at. Okay, the 44.2k, and to see if it can actually potentially bounce from that level. If you start breaking, of course, the 44.2k, you know, then we have to look a little bit further down, and then we have to come down potentially a little bit further, all the way down to the, yeah, in my opinion, the 41.26. Okay, and you know, potentially even the $40,000. So now this is something now that we really need to hold above. If you cannot hold above the 44.2, yeah, we might be pushing down further towards the 41, 42, and then maybe even the 40,000. But again, the 41.26 is something I am still looking at. Okay, very, very important. So 44.2 here, but yeah, keep in mind that when you look here at the chart, the most orders are also placed around the 44,000. So you might be able to push slightly through it. But again, we will see how this next hourly candle you know, behaves in order to get a better understanding here. Okay, in the meantime, guys, make sure you smash up that like button, and if you're new, then subscribe to this channel. We're just getting started, and things are looking absolutely fantastic. Okay, absolutely amazing here. All right, fantastic. Now this is something to keep a close eye on. Now for the next stop here is also, in my opinion, the Bitcoin dominance. Okay, the Bitcoin dominance right now is coming back to crucial levels right here. Look at where we are right now on the weekly time frame. The 51.60% right here. If you start coming down, of course, this will be much better for altcoins here. But if Bitcoin breaks, let's say below the 40, you know, the 44,000, you know, in general, then you could see that the Bitcoin dominance, okay, if that starts, you know, holding here now at this crucial support here, then yeah, most likely altcoins are gonna have some pain. So that's something definitely to look at here. That's why it's so important now to wait for Bitcoin to come towards this level first, and to see how we respond here. Okay, how do we respond from this potential next layer of support before, you know, moving further with any trade setups or whatever we're looking at. Okay, very crucial that we wait for that reaction to see how we actually start reacting from it. Very important. If the Bitcoin dominance comes down, okay, then still altcoins might be favorable here. That's a good thing. The good part is that Ethereum is holding up so extremely well compared to Bitcoin right now. It's literally doing the opposite of what Bitcoin is doing. The ETH against Bitcoin chart is also looking extremely strong. That's also favorable for altcoins, as you might see. This could also be the main reason why the Bitcoin dominance is coming down so much. It's because Ethereum is doing so well at this particular moment. Okay, now to come into the Tether dominance right here. Okay, let me quickly see what's happening around that front. Yeah, going to the 4 hour. Okay, we have put in a lower low. Okay, so that's overall pretty decent. We are now coming back towards new critical resistance, 5.64%. That's kind of the next layer that I'm also looking for. So that's actually a perfect balance. Okay, waiting for the Tether dominance to come up towards the 5.64% right now. Then looking at the actual Bitcoin chart and Bitcoin price right here, and to see what happens around the 44k. Okay, so the combination of the 44 in combination with the yeah, the 44.15, 44.2k in combination with the Tether dominance being at the 5.64%. So that's a key level in my opinion to look at. Okay, why? Because again, you swiped the highs right here. Okay, very important. You swiped the highs, you flipped it. Okay, you created that significant low, and you're now for the first time kind of coming up to retest the top of that range that created that expansion to the downside. So that's kind of the first layer of resistance. If you manage to break it, the next layer is the 5.86%. So that's the next stop here in case we break towards that particular zone. Of course, every layer of resistance that I draw here goes hand in hand with an area of supply here, you know, and a crucial zone to take in consideration as well. You know, but it's all personal preference in my opinion, the way you want to draw out these levels here. is in my opinion key here. I just think that these horizontal levels are, are also very, very easy to see. And it gives me a little bit deeper understanding of, of what happened previously in the charts and in price action right here. So for example, areas of supply are fantastic for, demand are fantastic for, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And then looking at these crucial swing points to start looking at these order blocks, areas of supply, candle structures, candle formations. The horizontal levels are more to see, okay, what are crucial or what have been crucial areas of support and resistance before. So if we can find a way to combine it, you can kind of really find or really easily find the best possible scenarios and setups you're looking for. So that's something that I'm currently looking at. Okay, the Tether dominance coming to that zone and Bitcoin coming down a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more back further towards the $44,000, which is going to be, of course, this particular range right here, a retest of that range right here. Now, there are two scenarios right now. Okay, anything can happen. So Bitcoin can hold here and Bitcoin can start bouncing. If that happens, then the next step is, okay, what is Tether doing? If that's happening with Bitcoin, most likely Tether will get rejected here. High likelihood. Then the question is, okay, is it more favorable then to look for a Bitcoin long position? Or is it more favorable to look for altcoin long positions? And that then depends on what we just discussed here, the Bitcoin dominance. Now, the Bitcoin dominance really needs to hold above here in order for us to look for Bitcoin longs and to really start benefiting from that. In my opinion, if you start breaking it though, and we're seeing a bounce or a rejection from Tether, man, altcoins are gonna go through the roof, and most likely this weekend could turn into a really nice, weekend pump as well. Also, do take consideration, of course, that BlackRock right now and all these institutions right now, when the markets are closed, will not be involved here. So it's pure retail that's getting back to work during the weekend. So that might create some excitement and also less fear, okay, at the same time. So I think that's something definitely to take in consideration right here. Now, to look a little bit further into Ethereum as well, the weekly time frame is absolutely key, okay? Why is this so important? Well, look what Ethereum has just done right now, okay? We talked about it from the 8, we gained 20%, we made a 20% move. At this particular moment right here, you could see that, that breakout is super important. And we need to really close a weekly candle above it, like I said before. So that means a weekly candle, in my opinion, above the 2,500 will be ideal, okay? $2,500 and higher. We have 2 days and 9 hours left. So if we manage to close above it, that's really good. That's really good. We could start flipping this into support and then just look for further continuation all the way back up towards the $3,000. Nothing that will stop Ethereum, in my opinion, at that point. There's not much, there are not many layers of resistance as well to take consideration from there. It's pretty clean, price action. And that in combination with the hype, I see it on Twitter a lot now. A lot of people talk about Ethereum at this particular moment right here. Okay, so absolutely fantastic. Now, let's look at some altcoins as well here to look for further continuation. Obviously, we're going to see how Bitcoin reacts. We will probably find this out in like the next, 30 minutes or so, or 20 minutes. We will find out exactly, what's happening around here. Hopefully, the volume can stay consistent, and that would be absolutely fantastic here. But last thing, okay, very important. One more thing I want to look at is the Bitcoin dollar chart here on Coinbase, and the reason why is because I want to measure the volume. Okay. At this particular moment, we also have to talk about, two sides of the stories here. Is that the volume is still there, is still, pretty significant at this particular moment. So, the moment we get towards the lower levels, you could say right here, okay, I think that's the moment for us as well to start thinking about, okay, is the volume still there? Is the volume still picking up? Or is it already, coming down here? If we're heading in towards that level of support and the volume is coming down like significantly, that's usually a good sign. That could increase the chance for us for, a potential bounce. So definitely have always a look at the volume chart and never look at the volume charts of futures charts. Look at it for spot. I think it's a little bit more important than futures in this case. So Coinbase, for example, or Binance or whatever you want to look at. is probably where you should look at for, you know, to measure, see what the volume is doing here. Okay, so volume is slightly coming down already in the last candle here. Hopefully we keep decreasing for now. Reaching that support. That means that the selling pressure is, getting a little bit, exhausted here. Okay, fantastic. Now let's look at a couple altcoins right here. One of them that catch my eye today was Litecoin. Litecoin, I was like, man, Litecoin is absolutely dead. I truly thought like Litecoin is done. Like I didn't hear something about it here. Nobody was talking about it. I was like, what's happening with their team, their development? Like what's going on here? Anyways, when looking at this particular, structure right here on the weekly time frame, every single time when we came back down to the point of control, which is at $61, we tend to bounce from it. And so did we we did this this week massively one more time here. Yesterday we came, or last week we came down. The next week we started to push up here significantly. So, the fact that we're holding now at this low is very crucial. So, this is from 2020, okay? We made a massive expansion. We topped out at around $400. It's actually quite crazy. That is still, 400% away from the all-time high here, okay? Pretty nuts. Now, you came down. Of course, you created a higher low, all right? This was the low that we held here. This particular range held perfectly. It created that support that we needed here in order to move forward and create the absolute low of Litecoin here after that retracement all the way down towards the $40. Okay, so that's pretty nuts. However, we made a nice little run back up to the $120 before a new retest coming down here, coming into this range. That was initially the low of this range. This is an amazing level to start looking for buys here and to start seeing if Litecoin can potentially start breaking series structures right now. And we are now at crucial local resistance, you could say. But Litecoin has that potential this time, in my opinion, as well. I think people are sleeping on it. At least I was, for sure. That's definitely, definitely the case. Now, what I want to see here is what happens when Litecoin, pulls back a little bit, okay, after it has taken out the highs, because it has gained the highs right here twice, okay, which is a very good sign here after, tapping into this particular low. What's happening when we're pulling back, okay? Because, we might get ourselves into, a fantastic, position here in the short term, potentially looking at, this particular range, over the next coming hours here, days ahead of us here, potentially this weekend. Okay, I was thinking about, coming down now, a little bit further, coming back towards this range. And if we start to come into this range here, I'm super interested in looking for a weekend trade for Litecoin here for some reason, based upon the weekly time frame here, and also based upon the current metric here, which is the Litecoin dominance. Okay, gained a 6%, so it capitalized serious against the other, altcoins here in the market right now at this current moment here. So where Solana lost a little bit of dominance after that major rally, Litecoin is now taking over the game here. Okay, so my eyes are on Litecoin because of that, and I think that based upon a pullback, we might be preparing ourselves for more volume for the Litecoin trade. And the reason why is because people are now focusing on Litecoin, people seeing that Litecoin is moving up, and then everyone has their eyes on Litecoin in that manner. So if it then breaks structure and gives you the confirmation, then it might be a great time to look for potential entries here for Litecoin, in my opinion. Not before, of course, a drop off back down, because Bitcoin is still coming down here. Okay, if we started to close below the 44, of course, then we have to reconsider everything that we're just talking about. But for now, that is not the case yet. Okay, we still have major support here at this area of the month. This overall bigger range right here. Okay, so that's Litecoin. We will be more specific about the actual entries in a second here. Now, another one which catches my eye was Sui. Okay, Sui was also very, very aggressive here. Major expansion right now to the upside already. But again, what I really like here is for you guys to pay very close attention to this particular area of consolidation right there. Okay, this was a fantastic breakout to the upside here after we swiped the lows. Now any retracement here could, you know, potentially lead into that continuation right there. You know, this is already a 30% move to the upside right here. So I just really want you to pay very close attention to a clear range. And whenever you see a clear range that is accumulating, okay, it's just definitely like a range where people have been accumulating a lot of SUI, and you come back to that range, you know, what you can do is then to wait for it to flip into support and then shoot up to the upside right here. I think this could turn also into a really nice opportunity when the markets are shifting further to the upside right here. So SUI, keep a close eye on SUI. Very nice. And then we have, let's see what else we have here. Was it people? Let me see. Yeah, I think it was people indeed. So for people here, in my opinion right now, I think that this could turn into a sell-off actually. So nothing like any bullish momentum here. I'm actually was looking more for a sell due to the fact that, you know, we have been expanding so aggressively and so much already. This is a major sell-off in my opinion. We failed to break above this range. On the 30-minute, we are getting rejected at it already right here, right now. So if you look at this particular area, you see that you're getting rejected at it. And this smells like, you know, there is just too much, you know, sell side liquidity built up below here. I think that we're just going to make a move further to the downside. So, you know, for that particular reason, my eyes are on people. But in this case, I'm looking for shorts and not for any long setups at this particular moment, at least. Okay. So based upon that, what are the right entries? Well, let's have a look at the market here. If the market tends to come down here, you know, then the only thing that we can look at is simply just see if we can, you know, come up one more time. That would be perfect. If it could come back towards, you know, this level right here, start pushing up, and then start selling off from there. Something in that manner is what I'm looking for people as well. So I think that based upon, you know, the Bitcoin price, the best thing that we can do right now as traders is to simply look at a couple of short setups and a couple of long setups while we're waiting for Bitcoin to see what's happening here. And the reason why is because if you know, and this is maybe something good for you as well for the next time, for yourself when you're trading, is that when you're not 100% sure about the outcome, right? And Bitcoin is reaching an area of support, that you have two scenarios, right? Either it bounces from support or either it breaks through support. If it breaks through support, you're getting ready to look for all the short setups that you have previously analyzed. And that's it. That's the only thing you're looking for. You're looking at these short setups. You're looking for, you know, potential trade setups that are aligning with your short ideas. If you bounce from it, you bounce from support, obviously your shorts become less relevant to you. So then it's maybe more interesting to look at, first of all, maybe Bitcoin long, but secondary, you know, maybe some altcoin longs as well. So, you know, the best way I personally look at making, you know, looking at trade setups myself is I crucially wait for Bitcoin to either come to an area of support or to an area of resistance. If it comes to an area of support, I, you know, have a couple of short and a couple of long setups ready. And I'll wait for the reaction. Same for when Bitcoin hits resistance. Couple shorts, couple of longs. If it breaks through, boom. Longs are more interesting. If it gets rejected, shorts are more interesting. So Bitcoin is the perfect indicator for you in order to move forward here. If Bitcoin is in the middle of, you know, nowhere, right? It might be sometimes better just to wait for Bitcoin to react from that new level. That's why, you know, it's so important to watch the market level by level, play by play, before you actually start looking for any setups, you know, in the market, or at least you can do your analysis. But before you execute, wait to see what Bitcoin does, if that makes sense to you. Okay? For me, that's key. If Bitcoin is in the middle of nowhere, I can tell you already that Bitcoin can suddenly move up again, random. It's all random. And then I'm looking at shorts, and I'm looking at longs, and I don't know what to pick. Kind of, right? Yes, I could look for continuation trades, sure. But I've noticed that the highest probability comes right here when Bitcoin is at the crucial levels. So when Bitcoin is now coming to this level, $44,000, $44,200, dollars roughly. We're now roughly around 44K. Now it's time to see what's going to happen here. Are we going to bounce, or are we going to actually, smash through it? If that's the case, our shorts will be more interesting. And if that's not the case, our long is going to be more interesting. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at a couple of shorts. We're going to look at a couple of longs. And we are going to make our decision. From there, we fill up a watch list. We wait for Bitcoin's confirmation. Bitcoin gave us that confirmation we need. We know how to execute. Okay? Fantastic. All right. Let's dive into a couple of other altcoins right now at the moment here. Very important to see here the difference, the biggest difference between the traditional markets like a Forex market and the Bitcoin market is that everything is so heavily, correlated still to what Bitcoin is doing, because the Bitcoin dominance is still above 50%. So, from that $1.6 trillion, Bitcoin is covering around 800 billion of it. So it's so important to see what Bitcoin does in order for you to make decisions here. But if the Bitcoin dominance comes down, obviously that becomes less and less relevant over time here. So when we had top altcoin season, right here, Bitcoin was still, at 39% here, roughly. The all-time lows here at like 35%. Yeah, this is where it becomes less and less relevant, obviously. Okay? For now, that's not the case. For now, we need to pay very close attention to what Bitcoin is doing. Hope that makes sense. Okay, let's go over a couple of setups right now in the meantime. Based upon what you want to see here. And then let's see if you think the same way. And we can then look for a potential outcome while we know what Bitcoin is doing in the meantime. I think that makes the most sense here. Okay. Three charts I'm looking at for sure. Litecoin, Ethereum this weekend. Top. Write it down. Pay very close attention to these two charts. I really believe that there is something to do there this weekend. Absolutely. We will talk about it in a second here specifically. But... very, very important here. And the other one was people. I think that people is ready for a little bit of a dumper. Okay, let's see what we have here. Julian Ripple says Bob looks nice. Those is how long to hold the short. That all depends, of course, on the macros, right? The macro levels of Bitcoin, the macro levels of the Bitcoin dominance. Most important chart, in my opinion, still for you to look at is the Tether dominance chart. If you master the Tether dominance chart, you will gain incredible edge in the market. If you understand at least that people are selling their crypto to buy Tether, and you know how to combine that with the Bitcoin dominance chart, then that's absolutely fantastic. That's the main reason why I created this course as well in the Crypto VIP. Is purely because people are lacking the understanding of the market sentiment. So if you do have an understanding of the sentiment here, of how the money is moving in the overall market, forget about your strategy. Your strategy is irrelevant if you do not have an understanding of the market sentiment. If you try to short against a very bullish market, you can make a winning trade, sure, but you're most likely in the long term, not gonna have the edge here. So that's the reason why I created that course. It's a 2.5-hour course. It's practically free. You can join our Discord, join our Crypto VIP, and it's super easy to join in a matter of minutes. And you can get access to my 2.5-hour course where I talk about all these different things, explaining exactly how this works in depth, in detail, okay? With the data to back it up, of course, very importantly. So Tether dominance is my opinion key. If the Tether dominance comes down, of course, my friend, then that maybe, is the time to close your short position. Because that means that if the Tether dominance comes down and the market cap of Tether has been only increasing, then it's important to mention that, a lot of money potentially is flowing out of Tether and it has to go somewhere, okay? Most likely into crypto. So that could be a good chart to look at, okay? We call that mastering the correlations. Now, people is already starting to push a bit. Can't wait to see how this one reacts here. I'm gonna set an alert here. And then in the meantime, let's see what you guys have been saying here. Bob looks nice and Kaspa, okay. Beautiful. Okay, what is Bob? Bob. What is Bob? All right. That's a level of support. Right there, sitting at what, 23? Fantastic support right here. You see that? On the weekly, beautiful zone. Boom. It's looking good. It's looking good. This is not tradable on futures, right? But again, this is looking good. I do like it a lot here. So swing low to swing high. Boom. 618 Fibonacci. If the market is bullish and Bitcoin holds here, you might have this one right here. Very, very nice. And then, you know, the weekly support is there. This low is super key. This low created that low, that expansion, that retracement, and that massive pump. Took out the lows, of course. The reason why this is so powerful is because this massive pump right now, all the stop losses are right below. These stop losses are taken out. So now you're back at that low. Now you're expanding. Now you're breaking internal structures. And now you're retracing potentially to that range, including the 618, including a very nice area of demand, and including a very nice area of support as well. A lot of confluence coming together. So I think that a trade from there is absolutely amazing, man. If you are interested in trading this, then boom, your entry is at 29,353. Stop loss is at 26,287. And your take profit is somewhat up there in that range. I would look at it step by step. A minimum of 3-to-1 is there. Is the previous high. It's fantastic. Gives you a 3-to-1 on your money. That's exactly what you want. So beautiful. Let's look at Kaspa. We can actually add this one to the list, by the way. I do like it. I do like it. Beautiful. Okay, Kaspa, next. Crypto news is CRV and Arbitrum. Yes, sir. We're going to go over it in a second. Oh, Central. Okay, that's why. My bad. My bad. I was like, what's going on here? Cos. There we go. Whatever. Okay, fantastic. Weekly. Rejection, right? So that's important. It's a weekly rejection. Bitcoin is so far reacting. Okay, Bitcoin is reacting from the 44,200. Okay, something that we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for that reaction here. Look at that resistance right there. One more time. You can look at the daily as well here, whatever you prefer. It does not really matter. But again, look at that. The 44.25 right now. It was this high right here. Okay, number one, number two, number three, testing it as support right now. So again, you see that we're reacting from it so far. Okay, this is good. Look at the volume here. The volume is looking good. Okay, volume is coming in here. It's so far a good sign. All right, the way we're reacting right now is a good start. Let's put it this way. It's no confirmation. All right, but it's a good start. Okay, I really do like it here for Bitcoin right now. So let's see how we develop here. We're gonna find out in a second here. Tether dominance was there, right? We were waiting for the tether dominance to reach that zone. Fantastic, right here. You see that? Same scenario here for the tether dominance right now at this particular moment. So yeah, let's see how we develop. Are we gonna break internal structures? Yes or no? We will find out in a second here. Now, Kaspa right here though. On the weekly time frame, we are at crucial resistance. Okay, that's not a good. That's not really a good sign. When you look at this area of resistance right there as well, you know, you see clearly that you get rejected now at the point of control here. So that's also the point of control right there. Clear rejection point. On the 15-minute here, you know, you have this consolidation. Okay, this could turn into a. Okay, this is interesting though. You might be holding here. And then come back up, manipulate the highs, and then make one more try to the upside. I mean, it's not my favorite chart. I mean, we are in weekly resistance right now. Okay, that's number one. Secondary is on the 1 hour right here. You are starting to come down here. You know, you might be looking at like a 1 hour zone right there, okay? Which is this layer. But again, you know, this is something that I, you know, usually do not really like to see when, you know, price is coming up here. But, you know, again, this is all subjective. So, you know, what we can do is to wait for price to move into that direction right here. See if we can get rejected and then potentially make some sort of, you know, move, double confirmation, and then boom, do the downside right here, coming back further down towards this low right there. So that could be interesting to look at. Yeah, in general, something nice here. Same for this high as well, but this is the high that created that drop off. So obviously this is going to be the most important high to break, and look for further continuation here. So I will add this to the list in case Bitcoin breaks down. Okay, then we will actually see how this one performs. All right, let's see what we have. Beautiful thing about crypto is you can trade in the weekends, okay? That's also very nice. You always have to be a little bit more cautious with, obviously, just the volume. You have to confirm that there is enough volume in the market. Otherwise, it usually just doesn't make, you know, enough sense here. But I have high expectations for this weekend, okay? This specific weekend to be exact. Due to the fact that it's the first weekend after, you know, the BlackRock, you know, spot ETF and everything that we have seen, where everyone was talking about, okay? Let's see what we have here. We have CRV. Sounds like a plan, my friend. CRV. Okay, holding good. Weekly is done. Boom. Support. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's better than Kospa, right? Big difference. Beautiful breakout. Beautiful zone. Really clean, by the way. Really nice. Really nice. We broke out to this high here. Fantastic. We broke this high here. Fantastic. This was a critical high to break, by the way. The 5769 was a critical high to break. You are facing resistance now already. Yeah, okay, nice. There are two scenarios here. So, obviously, this is what you want. You want it to come down here so you can buy it. If Bitcoin is flipping and turning bullish there. Because this is a really nice and clean level to look at. Really nice. This high right here is now facing that resistance. So you don't want to buy now. You actually want to look for, you might be looking for sells now. You know, short it down to turn it into a long. You know, short it down right now to then turn it into a long position. Maybe here, and then look for further continuation to the upside again. You know, this looks like we're facing that resistance here. You saw it on the 4 hour. This was a clear rejection so far. This 4 hour candle also is not looking that strong. So I think the combination of, obviously, this rejection right here, lower low, coming down, pushing up, rejection, and then look for further continuation is, I think, where things get interesting here. So yeah, like downside here, downside potential here. Let's see if we can break this low. And then create like a lower high. Bitcoin is breaking below it. That's it. Okay. So first time was great. You know, we didn't close it above. We closed it below. So it's time to show what's happening here. So far, these shorts are looking much more appealing. Even though that the Tether dominance is still resistance right here. But again, the Bitcoin dominance is also coming down, by the way. Crazy how Bitcoin is actually getting wrecked against the altcoins, especially Ethereum at this particular moment here. So yeah, I think, yeah, shorts are still in play now. So this is definitely an interesting one to look at, okay? Look for further continuation to the downside. I think this is key. This is key. Looking for that short continuation now to the downside here after that rejection here. So this could be a trade in the very short term. If Bitcoin actually starts closing this, then this next 30 minutes till our candle below the 44 point, the 44K. Okay, really below the 44K is key. This could still hold the 44 and lower. So underneath the 44, that's where things get tricky. Okay. Beautiful. What else do we have? This is definitely something to look at. You want to break the low, you want to come up, and you want to come down. 4-hour resistance key. I think that's a great combination. So 4-hour resistance, internal lower low, lower high. You have a gap to fill here as well, and you have some liquidity built up here, coming back towards this range. I think it all it highlights it very well. Okay, what's next? Let's see what we have here. Matic. Wow, look at that. Look at Matic here. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, look at that, guys. This is what we call... I want to see it in the chat here. How do we call this right here? The... You know what I mean. Okay, super strong, super good rejection, by the way. I love that. I love that. This is looking like short material right here. Very clean short material. Yeah, no, this is looking really good. Okay, 15 minute. Fantastic, man. That's the trade right there. You get rejected at the very area low. You come down. You build liquidity. You take out that liquidity. You sell to the top and you come down here. You buy to the top and you come down and get rejected here. That's just beautiful price action for Matic towards the downside here. Beautiful. Okay. Key level is of course right here. 19.3. We are breaking down to it already here. This is now kind of an internal range that we're creating as well. So the lower we get, the better it's going to be here. And you can already see that that there is just more downside potential here for Matic, right? There's no question about it. This is like practically what we're doing here now is that we're creating this trend as well. So if you look here, you have that like weekly zone, or so that 1 hour range, that expansion, retracement, that rejection, internal breakdown, so internal weakness, coming down, overall also getting rejected by that trend. So a lot of people see a lot of different things here at the same time, as you can see. Now that's beautiful. So, anything leads me towards the 80 cents here. That was fantastic. The magic touch, exactly. That's how we call it right here. We call this the magic touch here. Yes, Bitcoin is now at 43,950. So it's below the 40K here. So we have, around 8 minutes left for this closure to happen. Okay. Can we close a 30-minute candle below the 44K? It's a key level. It's a key level to look at. Okay. So let's see how we do it. We have like 8 minutes left here. For now, though, this is for Matic as clean as it can get. Okay, as clean as it can get here. So, what are we looking for? We're looking for an internal break now, which is gonna be this particular area of consolidation, this low getting taken out as far as possible. Okay, I don't care how far it is, but I hope we're gonna make like a serious break. Retracement back into that range, and then another sell-off back down towards the 80 cents here. That will turn into, in my opinion, the biggest, the biggest risk reward, the biggest trade. Being patient, coming back towards either the point of control or the value area low, but it depends on the Fibonacci. So if you have this high right here and you break the low, then the question is, where are you bouncing from? Could that be in this zone? Or if that's the case right here, definitely the point of control is what matters. Okay, not the value area low. The value area low is below the 50%. We're waiting for the point of control to be hit at the 618. That will be, a fantastic level. But it all depends on where you actually bounce from. Okay, but I think the point of control, regardless, is the better solution. If not, maybe even the top. But you don't want it to come up, tap into the point of control, and then bounce from it. Right? That's why I see a lot of people that looking for, let's say, areas of supply. They look for a breakdown, and then they look for an area of supply here, and then they look to short it. Keep in mind when you short it from there, that if you then tap into the point of control, and you bounce from it, you have a problem. So I rather look for just a rejection at the point of control, which is going to be at the 92 cents. And the 92 cents will then give us a very nice and clean stop loss above the highs, which is pretty, a much safer stop loss. It's a pretty big stop loss, I'm not going to lie here. But if you target the 82 cents here, you end up with a nice 3 to 5 to 1 here. If you want to, wait for a lower time frame confirmation on the 5-minute or lower time frame, you might be able to increase this risk reward tremendously. But the idea is to wait for a price to come down, to tap into the entry of 92 cents, stop loss at 94.78 if you enter aggressive, to then look for that continuation to the downside here. Beautiful. Okay, that's a potential scenario. That's a beautiful trade here, based upon the higher time frame, the hourly, the 15-minute. Everything seems to align here. So I'm a big fan. It's just a matter of time to see what Bitcoin will do now. That's it. How are we gonna close here? Very, very, very important to see where we close this candle. And most importantly, guys, for the weekend as well, the daily candle is what matters. Okay, the daily candle is also extremely important. Love and Light CBD. Nice. Let's look at Gala Games. It's been a while. All right. Okay, this is of course it's gonna face serious resistance right now. This low, look at this low on the weekly. This is the high, right? Boom, boom. It came to the 50% and then, a rejection. This was the high and this was the low. And now we're creating a lower high. We're trying to push up here internally. But I do think that, let me see on the lower time frames. Yeah. Let's see what we have here. Okay. Major range. Below the weekly, right? So the crucial level already, I can tell you this already. 29.90. If we manage to miraculously push up here, which I doubt, to be honest. But if that can happen here, then this is for sure a key level to look at. Followed by a push down. Okay, this is not looking that fantastically strong. On the higher time frame as well. This was that weekly rejection that we talked about. Then you created consolidation and expansion. And then that retracement. Breaking internal liquidity. And then it's usually leading it towards a push to the downside right here. But once again, Let's see how the daily candle opened here. No, this could still be a scenario. Definitely something to look at. So highlight the following level. Set an alert for Gala Games at 2.990. That's number one. Just in case. Just in case. Now the 15-minute. Yeah, we're still holding off above this low here. No, I think that this could still lead into a break unless we break below this low. That would change the whole dynamic here, where you break the low, lower high, and then looking for a lower low continuation. That would change the game. But keep in mind that this is still the low that created the top, the local top. So you need to break the local bottom in order for you to look for further continuation to the downside. If you don't break the local bottom, then it's just a matter of push to the upside here, taking out stop losses that are built above. Maybe rejection here, you know, at the 2.8. That could be a reaction, to be honest, which is then the top because you internally created that low. But at least you come towards the levels right here and you come down here. So again, two scenarios. If we come up towards the zone, you know, set an alert at these two levels here, 2883 and 2990. You just simply wait for price to tap into it and you see, okay, how do we react? What's the market sentiment like? What's Bitcoin doing? Did Bitcoin bounce from support, or did it break a crucial level of support, or did it get rejected from an area of resistance, or it bounced off an area of resistance here? Then in that case, you can look for further continuation. But I do believe that Gala right now at the moment can lead into, that breakdown eventually when coming up here to one of these two levels. That would be the ideal. So I actually like theory. If you start breaking this level right here, then you might be coming down towards these levels right here, okay? Then this range becomes relevant. Now this range is irrelevant, but if you break this low, this range becomes relevant, if that makes sense right there, okay? So then this is a range to look at, to then draw the fixtures for profit, to look for levels, to look for a rejection point right here. But for now, it's leaning more towards the upper levels right there, okay? So more about, these two levels right here before we look for the continuation. This is still not broken yet. But the reason why we're looking for shorts is obviously because of the weekly time frame. The rejection, the 4-hour break, this beautiful big range right here that has never been retested yet, and so on and so on. All right, so I hope that makes sense. Now let's look at another one. It's beautiful, by the way. In the meantime, it's very important that you guys are smashing up that like button right here in the meantime, okay? We're gonna add Gala, by the way, 100% to the Limitless Crypto watch list right here. Okay, super important levels. I have these levels drawn out right there. Okay, this level is irrelevant for now. It's all about the top levels that are mattering unless we break the lows, okay? So that would be highly appreciated. Smash up the like button here, guys. And if you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. That would be extremely appreciated. All right. And very important stuff as well. Of course, we have the YouTube section. So the YouTube setups section. Everything that we discuss on stream is obviously going to get dropped, in this particular channel. So that's why it's so important for you to join our Discord. So you know exactly that when I talk about these setups like Gala right now, when something happens, boom, that channel. Okay. So fantastic. Spaceboy and Cowboy says Litecoin, please. Thank you. Yeah, we just talked about Litecoin. Ray says 8 and Mariana says OP. Let's do OP first. Okay.
Wow.
This is a typical flipping weekly resistance into weekly support scenario and bouncing a rough estimate of 47%. Easy money. That's easy money. Okay. Weekly levels. I love weekly levels. I love weekly levels on, in cryptocurrencies, especially weekly levels, and especially when you know that everything is still relatively low for now. You know, to put it in perspective, when looking at most cryptocurrencies, most all-time highs are not broken yet. Most of them, of course. Especially the older ones. So in this case right now, you know, you came above it, you came down, you held above it, you flipped it into support. This was your easiest buy option right there. Fantastic. And that was just a super easy trade. Now, secondary, okay. How do you deal with this on the lower time frames? Well, it's simple. So this was the low, this was a higher high, and this was a higher low. That's it. Boom, your entry. If you are a futures trader, boom, look at this. You go from a weekly level towards a fantastic zone. From the swing low to swing higher here. Of course, round the 618 right here. Fantastic. Okay. What happened here was that this was the lowest point in the market. After tapping into the weekly lows, it swiped this level. After this low was taken, or after that low was taken and you came down here, you rallied up. It was enough of a rally to break the highs right here. So you broke the previous high. And then it's all about the transition. So you go from a lower high, lower low, higher low, higher high. That's the transition right here. That's that W formation that we're talking about there. So when people look at W patterns, what your in essence are waiting for is a lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high. That's the W formation in that case, okay? So that was that key entry right there, and it kept going. Okay, it turned it, flipped it again into support. That's why I'd like to combine support and resistance with areas of demand and areas of supply, because sometimes, you know, you see these pullbacks in the middle of nowhere. Usually it reflects, you know, pullback from an area of support and not just only an area of demand here. Okay, but overall, fantastic. Now at this particular moment though, yeah, what can I say? I cannot say go short it, because we're talking, we're talking, well, price discovery here. Okay, so it's like, or wait, let me quickly confirm this. I might be wrong, by the way. Yeah, we're talking price discovery here. Okay, so you know, this is definitely not a moment to look for short opportunities in the market, in any way, shape, or form. Matter of fact, you know, this is still holding up very strong once again, and it keeps moving forward here. So yeah, if it starts breaking above, you know, the 4.2313, I mean, you might be able to you know, to take a, you know, if you have that closure, to look for further continuation still. Once you get, you know, invalidated, you know, the way you get invalidated is by just breaking the lows, closing below, creating a lower high, and creating a new lower low. Like, these are like the metrics I'm looking for. So instead of a lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high, it's in this case a lower low, or a higher high, lower low, higher low, lower high, sorry, and again a lower low. Can get confusing, but it's actually not that hard. Okay, so yeah, either a closure above or a break below, in my opinion. That's it. I would be much more interested in this and not in a short. In regards to shorts, I would love to see a major flip. So an actual flip down, then start coming down, and then start looking for further continuation, rather than trying to look for shorts around here. I think it's much better to break these lows first, to then look for a pullback, to then look for a continuation to the downside. So I'm much more interested in longs for now. There is no reason not to be, whenever, you know, the market is looking, you know, that good right here. Okay. Again, confirm it with Bitcoin and so on here, and everything that's currently happening. But again, look at that, 43.7. So this is a clear break. We have closed the 30-minute candle also below right now, and the 1 hour is closing in 22 minutes. So, you know, this is a key level to be broken right now. So, yeah, in my opinion, short setups we're talking about are by far the most appealing, the most interesting right now here. Matic, Kaspa, same scenario. Yeah, same scenario for Kaspa right here. Kaspa could be very interesting very soon already. And then Bob, of course, like we said, Bob will most likely come down here. It's already coming down. Okay. So, yeah, That's just what's currently happening. Okay, Bitcoin is definitely looking at a rejection here. It's crazy how good OP is holding here. So don't short it. That's for sure. Okay. Hold it, help Mariana. Thank you for your support once again. Let's go to the next one. Aravind, he asks for gas. Gas. Boom. Let me confirm this real quick. Gas. Yeah. Weekly resistance. Done. Done. Higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Done. Fix and short profile. Yeah, you're already getting rejected very low. That's the thing though. I was kind of seeing that. You have that gap above. I would love to see price pushing up. Boom, boom, boom. And the reason why this is good, so just for confirmation here, is because most likely you're gonna see the following happening here. You are gonna see Bitcoin retesting the 44K. So, you know, once the hourly closure is actually below that level that we talked about here, below the 44.2, the 44K here, okay? Then it's important to mention that, let's look at the daily here. Yeah, there we go. Let's look at the 1 hour. Yeah, there we go. So it's important that this, right, is now an area of resistance right here. Okay, see that? This is the 44.6K. I really wanted to break this low. It's super key to look for that to that confirmation. This low is now coming along here at 43. We're already at like 43.5. It goes very quickly. That's why this was such a crazy or an important break. But again, a retest towards the following levels here. Okay, the 44.4 and the 44.6 is now where you're gonna potentially flip it into resistance. So where this was support, resistance, resistance, support, resistance, resistance. If you flip this into resistance, then what you want to do now is we want to prepare for all these different altcoin setups that potentially have a little bit of room to come up a little bit. So if Bitcoin makes that retest or tries to come back up above here, and it actually is getting rejected here at this level, then at that moment you can kind of measure now which altcoins are roughly have similar metric here. For example, gas has that. Gas has, for example, that consolidation, right? That expansion, that weekly resistance was already rejection, so that's fantastic. The higher time frame is now with us. You now break below. You now have a gap here. Okay, that gap is important to be filled. So we can also think about, okay, we might want to fill up that gap around $6. So that's right here. Okay, that's this gap. So then we fill up that gap and Bitcoin retraces. We then come into the point of control of that range right here. Okay, so that's then a key level to look at. We wait for price to push us up towards that level when Bitcoin tries to retrace. And voila, this is your short entry. Stop loss goes above the highs and you target the next leg down here, in my opinion, which is this beautiful zone, which you can find right here, which is this level, which I think is a crucial level to look at. That means that your entry will roughly be around the point of control. Your stop loss will be above the candle structure and you target the lows here, 5 to 1 on your money. Does that make sense? I'm gonna add this one to the list for sure. See how it goes. Let's see. Gas done. Atom. Yeah, good one. Good question. Ray. That's amazing. Ray. Oh, that's your name. Sorry, man. Atom. Right there. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. All right, Atem. Boom. Okay. Atem is looking from a weekly time frame. You see that I'm always going to the weekly time frame, by the way. I always start at the weekly. I don't care what the situation is. Even when I'm scalping, I want to understand the weekly. Just because it gives me so much more clarity in many ways. Okay, it's not everything, but it's definitely super important for myself to get a feeling of what's happening here. So this is still holding up very good. So support, resistance there, resistance here. This is looking good. These are like the two key levels. We're trying to push up here from this weekly low. So this weekly low is key. We know this now, okay? You can see this already. This is where you created that lower low, higher high. And once again, it happened like we said before, okay? You go into a weekly support, you create a lower low, higher high, higher low, and then of course a higher high right here. So you see that, you create that overall bigger range, that W formation right there. Now this is the low, this is the high. You pull back to the 618. You also pull back towards this beautiful zone right there. You tapped into it twice. Sometimes that happens right here. And voila, you expand, okay? Now, in regards to the market is now not looking that great. The reason why is because of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is breaking down here, okay? The Bitcoin dominance is also coming down. So altcoins are not getting hit as hard. Yet it is a key level to take consideration. And in 15 minutes, this hourly candle closes below. Now for Atem, you can see here that we are getting rejected internally. So this is that range. And you saw that massive sell-off right here. This is where people get stuck. We all remember this trade. We all remember this day when Bitcoin dropped so heavily. When we saw that flash crash, we pulled up. We finally retested it and we're getting rejected from it. Now, 15 minute. High, low, lower high, lower low. This smells just simply like continuation. Straightforward. Nothing too crazy. High to low, 50% aligns fantastically with the zone. So this is a range I'm looking for. There are actually two levels I'm looking for. So this is one. And this is one. Okay, so let's make it orange. These two levels right there. And what's happening? Yes, we swipe the lows. You see that rejection as well right here. It's another layer. I don't really use it often, but anyways, this is the high, the low, lower high, lower low. Now a retracement towards this high or this high, followed by a sell-off right here. Very clean, very nice. Atem, looking very clean. Price action is good. The structure is great. The weekly, support is still pretty far below. So you're not trading into weekly support. That's also important that you're not looking for a short right when you reach an entry, an area of support here. That's why it's so important to not look or not dismiss the weekly time frames, because I've seen so many times when guys look for 5-minute setups and then they take a short into weekly support. Sorry for that. Okay. So in this case, these are the two levels I'm looking for. 10.633 or 10.773. Any of these zones here are aligning very well with key levels of supply here. So this is one. And this is two. Okay. So what you can do here, in my opinion, is the following. You can either do two things. Bitcoin comes up and gets rejected, of course. It retested, it closes below, it retested at resistance and it gets rejected. Atem comes up, for example, it's just an example, towards any of these levels here when Bitcoin is there. Okay, you hope that Atem has enough momentum to pull back up. And then you can just either, place two limit orders. That's one layer. That's sometimes what I do. And I target, of course, the levels below. So this next range, I'm always looking from range to range. So this is one range, this is another range. This is now the next range I'm looking for. So you consolidate, you break down, you come down. So I'm waiting for that push up here. Okay. To the 10,619. Stop loss above the highs, which is the 10,725. And you target, of course, this particular low, which is that range, which is a 6 to 1. So if you have a 6 to 1 on your money, okay, then you can, take a 1% chance to take a trade right here. And if you fail, you can try again right here. Okay. And this one is a 9 to 1. Okay. And this is an example. So you have a 6 to 1 or a 7 to 1 to be exact, and a 9 to 1. Right? Or a 10 to 1, whatever. Let's say a 9 to 1. Okay. That's an 8 to 1 on average. So if you hit your stop loss on this one and your next one is playing out, done. You will make a bunch of money. You have 8 chances to break if you find similar setups like these here, utilizing the same risk to reward. That's just an example. But so I don't mind sometimes losing on one position to make money on my next position. Okay, so sometimes I place multiple limit orders to just see which one is going to be the one, if that makes sense here. And if both get stopped out, I have 6 more chances to get that one trade successful to break even. That's it. That's trading right there. So that's ATEM. I really like it. Fantastic here. Also, quickly important, I think it's important to check out the wins here, because look at what Cowboy is doing, ladies and gentlemen. People are sleeping, okay? It's time for you to get into our crypto Discord right now, to get into our crypto VIP. It's free to join. Okay, you have to follow some instructions here in order to join here. The number one thing is to sign up with one of our exchanges to deposit $100. We give you free signal channels. It's a requirement, okay, for you to actually get VIP access right here, to then sign up to deposit $100, or you can pay $1,000 to get in lifetime access. It's up to you. But I'd rather have you not paying us and just, become a partner of us, sign up, and then utilizing, of course, the signal channel that Tim provides right here as well, which have now been crushing it this month here. 73% gain in January, 16 trades, 10 wins, 6 losses, 62% win rate with a very serious risk to reward here. So you are going to make money. Now, Cowboy at the same time is also doing his Asian breakdown. So he has these Asian sessions right here. So if you like Asian sessions here, we have a lounge or a voice channel right here in the crypto VIP. Every Asian session, Cowboy comes in, couple guys come in, they talk about crypto. They're going to do some deep work here, looking at all their tricks and tools they use at advanced traders, and they help you out winning at the same time. And look what happened today. This is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, keep it up, Cowboy. Incredible. We have amazing traders in this chat right here. Okay, so join us for free. I have a course there. Tim has the signals there, and Cowboy hosts his Asian sessions there. It's a full package. The requirements are that you are, one more time, at least a partner of us with one of our exchanges, that you actually use that to trade with the signals. We will, or our system will now, from now on, checks the actual trade volume. You need to have 30-day trading turnover and $100 on your account. That's it. That's all we ask. It's a win-win for everyone. Otherwise, you're just going to pay the exchanges regardless. So there's nothing different here. Okay, fantastic. So that's ATEM. Let's go to a couple more charts here. How long have we been working here? Okay, not long enough. Litecoin we have been talking about here. Let's see what else we have. Ocean. That's been a while. That's been a while. What do we see? Okay, yeah, we're hovering between local or weekly support and weekly resistance here. The weekly resistance is at roughly you know, zero, like let's say 60 cents, 60, whereas the support is at 40, 41 to be exact. So we're kind of hovering in between. So these two levels are cleared. Fantastic. Done. So this is now a range where we can operate in. Okay, that's it. This is the range where we're operating in right now. Fantastic. Okay, nothing to worry about from weekly standpoints any longer. Now, internal structure here is telling us that we have been rejected. We have been breaking down and we have been retracing back. And we are currently getting rejected from the 50%. Right here, you can see that. This is the top. This is where we're getting rejected right now. This is the 50%. And we are breaking, we're breaking down here. We couldn't come across, we couldn't come above here. So this is the 1 hour chart. Let's go to the 15 minute. What happened before? A beautiful clean range. Same thing. This is a short. I see it right away. This is a gap. This could be another one, but I would look at this one to be honest. Where's Bitcoin? Yeah, Bitcoin is tanking, guys. Bitcoin is gonna close below. That's why was that 44.3 was so, or 0.25 was so important. And now we have lost that level here. It's off to the races here for Bitcoin. Really, really crazy. So, you know what? With Ocean, I think we should look a little bit higher. I think that's what we need to do. I think we should look to the top of this range. Yeah. And the reason why is because it comes down right now, but the way Bitcoin is coming down and the way Ocean is coming down, it's a whole different statement here. You could say, okay, you know what? I'm going to just, you know, take 2 trades here. I'm going to put 1 trade right here and 1 trade right there. And I do the same thing as what I done with Adam. And I target the same levels right here. So you have 1, you have 2 setups aligning, if that makes sense. For now, it's looking further continuation to the downside right here. Boom. Further to the downside. And just take these 2 opportunities. Spread your risk. Manage your risk accordingly. And you should be good. Could also be this one. Now, one of those levels coming back towards this bigger range right now. The 50% was the rejection from the 1 hour chart. So we went from number 1, the weekly levels first, right? So weekly top, weekly area of supply here, and weekly support. Okay, this was right here. Okay, support, 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 resistance, 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 support. So now you're in between a weekly area of resistance and in between a weekly area of support. You're in between these 2 levels. You go to the 1 hour chart, you understand market structure. So you look at the Fibonacci, you look at the highs and lows, premium levels, discounted territories. Okay, this is the high, this is the low, it's 50%. But ironic that you get rejected at the 50%. That's a nice confirmation. So now we went from the weekly to the 1 hour to the 15 minute. The 15 minute now creates a range. You expand out of this range right here to the downside. You break above, you break below. And now you're looking for a lower high confirmation, which then could result in a lower low confirmation. Okay, so it could be this one. It could be this one. It depends on Bitcoin. It depends on a bigger range. The goal is to bring price down towards this range at around 44 cents right there. That's Ocean for you right there. Incredible. Oscar says, I already got 25% on Matic. Thanks. Wow, nice. Amazing. Could you look at VRA? Veracity, correct? Yeah. I want to have a bunch of setups ready here. This is looking way too good right now. Tether dominance broke through that major initial resistance right now. Like I said before, we have this local top. But I think the next stop is the 5.86%, which is going to be this high right here. So we still have some room. Even if you flip it now to support, we can still look for that further continuation. So this is very, very good for shorts, what we're currently looking for. Okay. Okay, veracity. Ooh. Ay. Okay. That's painful. That is painful to watch. Okay. Yeah, the two crucial levels here. Yeah, no, this screams like it's not my favorite setup, to be honest. Because you're already coming now into these crucial lows. Because it doesn't pump that crazy when price moves up, when the market is bullish. Veracity is not really going. So for that particular reason, I'm not a big fan. I think the trade was already placed here. I think that, no, it didn't even... I'm not a big fan of this one. I don't want to short it. I don't want to long it. This is the low. This is that, you know, this might be holding here, but... yeah, we want to understand the sentiment better. No, this is not... yeah, just wait and see how price reacts here. On the lower time, on the 3-hour chart. Wait for price to move here. It's probably not for this weekend, but maybe it is. But wait for price to move here. Push in this level. Create internal highs. Higher low. Then look for a potential trade setup. So wait for price to push down, higher low, and like something like this. And then followed by a new expansion to the highs here. Just because of the fact that you create a lower low, higher high, higher low, and this was that major expansion. And this is then the first time you test that major expansion. Right there. If it's not something like that, but for now, not interested in it at the particular moment. Okay. Okay. Let's yeah, let's do a couple more. And I think then we have a really nice list here, to be honest. When looking at the market, Bob is coming down already. Kaspa is gonna be clean. So for example, Kaspa one more time. I want to make it as clean as possible here. Weekly resistance right there, right? We talked about that one. The 4-hour is creating that point of control here. That was a rejection point. Okay, that was a flawless rejection right there. Now you have this zone right here on the 4-hour already, but it's a little bit too big of a zone. I think you should go look on the 1-hour, and I think we might be able to look at it here to see how we react around this level, because you have created some sort of range, and the value area low could be interesting here. Do take into consideration that, yeah, your stop loss could be there. There is a gap here, so yeah, there are two trade setups. Same thing. Let's see, we have this one. Okay, TP1, TP2. Okay, Yeah, wait for price to pull back towards this high and look for a rejection right here. Might be able to look for a lower time frame entry. Or for a little bit of a better risk to reward too. Matic. The same thing for Matic right here. We wait for that push. Okay, same thing for Matic. We want to see come back to the point of control. I think that's a necessity here in order for us to look for further continuation. Gala is now breaking that low. So now anything here gets interesting, okay? We're talking about this high to look for a short from there and to look for further continuation down, or potentially from this high even, right? And to then look for a continuation to the downside. Well, what we're looking for right now, because we're breaking this low, is to now come back towards this low, to this range, and to look for continuation down. And now these become irrelevant for now. Now it's kind of like a new level that we have created due to the fact that we have been breaking, you know, this low right here now after creating that high. So this low created a higher point. That's now broken. So now we can look for a lower high to then look for that continuation back towards this range to the downside right here. So that could lead into some sort of short that I'm interested in right there, which is then something like this for Gala. So that means an entry at like 27.92, something like that. 27.92. I think this one is a little bit too aggressive. So a little bit higher. This particular zone right here. That could be really nice. Could be really good now. So before this was not relevant, now it becomes relevant because that low is broke. Okay. Why did Bitcoin not pump after the ETF approval? Well, obviously we know when talking about a potential scenario of major hype, talking about BlackRock and 10 other spot ETFs that potentially got approved here. Sorry, let me rephrase this. Okay. When talking about BlackRock right here. Oh, sorry for that. When talking about BlackRock right here, do you truly believe that they are interested in selling at the top, in selling at, you know, or buying, sorry. Do you think they're truly interested in buying at the top, potentially coming around and turning around here, and then, you know, literally seeing price coming down? I don't think so. I think they know exactly what they're doing. They have their price levels. They know where to accumulate more Bitcoin. This is already, you know, super clear to them. So in that manner, I truly believe that this was just a simple sell the news event, like we have been predicting already. Price pumps up out of hype. Okay. Yes, it's official. It's listed on the website. Price can finally move up. We saw that major squeeze once it was finally listed. And after that listing, you know, we flipped to turn around and boom, we're absolutely coming down significantly. So most of the time when people have certainties of we're gonna go to $100,000, we're gonna make an insane amount of money right now. This is, you know, the moment, history books, whatever the case may be. You can see right here that this is just by default using what not, you know, this will not turn into the reality. Okay. So yeah, that's just is what it is. Unfortunately, with the sell the news events here. However, from a macro standpoint here, okay, this is always what we do. We're always looking at macro levels here. We never get fooled. We never fool ourselves with potential massive hype. We all know that most of the time these massive hypes never really are actually coming out. So what we're waiting for is we're waiting for the right moments to enter here, for the macro correlations and everything that tells us that we're topping out and not looking for further continuation here. So trust your technical analysis here. Trust these macro levels. I think that tells you much more than just simply waiting for, you know, the hype to be exploded. That's it in that manner here. As traders though, we can always benefit. Okay, let's do two more. Let me know in the chat here. Let's get the chat a little more pumping. And let's see what we have through. Gavin says blur. Okay, let's do blur. And then one more, please. Okay, blur. There we go. We had that level already. So this is daily level. Daily. And this is a weekly level. So we're kind of hovering in between the weekly and the daily. It's a 60% window. Okay. So it's pretty big. You're getting rejected from the daily. What we need to do is we need to break below, come above, and come down. Or if you want to play it aggressively, okay, you go to the 15-minute right now. And you simply look at lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and you just look for further continuation to the downside. We are now bouncing from this local level here. I would love to see this getting broken first. I would love to see price pushing down a bit further before looking further continuation to the downside here, because there's a lot of room to come down here. Okay, you have that trend build. You can also still flip here. That's why I really want to break the structure first before really flipping bearish here, because the daily has been extremely bullish. We have been pumping around 60% from that weekly level. I want to see more downside potential first. So lower low, lower high, lower low. That's it. You know, confirmation. Top, bottom, top, bottom. Looking for further continuation to the downside. Okay. That's it. That's it. The reason why I don't want to like risk it now is because of the fact that you know, it still looks too bullish here. You have this level of support here, number one, right? So let me clean it up for you real quick. So you have this level of support here, local support, right? This top, this high. You have this trend line. You have this structure. You have all these different structures now supporting price here. Yes, you are in daily resistance, okay. But in order to truly flip bearish, you need to start breaking the lows first. After that low is broken, there are tons and tons of opportunities for you to start looking for downside potential. To start looking for further continuation back towards the weekly levels here eventually. That's not the case yet, if that makes sense. Now it actually seems like, you know, it could lead at least into one more push up for that rejection right there, if that makes sense. So that's that with blur here. Bitcoin currently is coming up maybe a little bit. Is that what's happening here on the lower time frame? I think so. Nah, yeah, okay, not really. Not really. Well, a little bit. Okay, yeah. Okay, a little bit. We're trying to push this up. Okay. Yeah, we tapped into this low. There we go. So yeah, this retracement to the 44.4 is, in my opinion, super important. And it could go up all the way to the 44.6, 44.7. Okay. And this is where we now have to pay very close attention. So you have the 44.4 and the 44.7. You draw that box. Okay, so you just draw an area of supply or whatever, a red box here. Very simple. Okay, and now what we're waiting for is to push price back into that range and see if we can actually look for that rejection here. And if that's happening, now you know that potentially all your short setups that we just discussed here, right? Whatever the case may be, maybe your own analysis, the setups that you are looking at right now. Okay, all these setups that we are highlighting here. Okay, we can now start thinking about, okay, if price pushes back, which one of these is the most interesting to look for? Which one of these is the most close towards the entry as well? Which one is the most aligned? If that's the case, then, you know, and you get rejected here, you now have, you know, a successful trade. Do this over and over again, and your probability is in your favor. Guaranteed. Okay, last one, guys. Let's make it happen here. Let's look at Near. Okay, let's look at Near. Adrian, my friend. Yeah, thank you for the support. And well, guys, let me know what you guys think of the streams here on this new channel. Okay, we're doing this every single day. We're trying to be here during the week. And if something crazy happens, of course, we're going to be here sporadically. But I'm really happy to do this. It's really enjoyable. It's really enjoyable, and it's only get more fun. Of course, now we're seeing some better price action again. So this is the week, I think, from next week onwards. Now the spot ETF is approved, and all that stuff is behind us. Now it's back towards, you know, normal or at least more regular price action again. So that's good. So I have a good feeling about next week. Okay. Last one is Near. Let's do it. $254 and same thing, day level. Yeah, it's a daily high. It's a daily high. 70% gap. Same thing. Okay. Yeah, this is clear. So, beautiful range. The point of control, rejection. We call that the magic touch. $30-minute, 50-minute right there. Let's rejection clean. Yeah, new range. Yeah. Point of control here is by far my favorite right now. Stop loss above the highs, targeting this particular zone first. I think you might have some serious support here due to the fact that you have that local support, but also you have that flip here. So you have this momentum shift. I think this is that zone where you could bounce from. So yeah, if you start pushing up right now, then I want to take out at least this high first. Take out some early shorters, come up, and then look for further continuation to the downside. Entry at 361 or an entry at 3.62. Stop loss at 3.681. 3.65 on your money. You have this one as well, of course, but I think this one is a little bit too soon when I look at Bitcoin right now. So yeah, look at Near, okay? Fantastic, beautiful. Okay. At what price do we see Bitcoin in 2013? Sorry, at what price do we see Bitcoin in 2030? So I do believe, and I still remain the same, that it could be above $1 million something. Okay, $1 million. The problem with dollars is though, okay, and this is where it gets a little bit confusing, but will the dollar be alive in 2030? That's the first question. Okay, so how can we truly measure the value of Bitcoin? How can we truly measure the value of Bitcoin against, you know, a particular currency that is on its way down right now? It's going to be very hard to predict what the price of Bitcoin will be against the dollar. Will the price go up, or will Bitcoin become more valuable? No doubt. It's literally programmed this way, right? The way we are, you know, considering all that inflation that we have in the current situation in the world right now, inflation is absolutely going through the roof. Yes, it's coming down at the moment, but not for long. Trust me, the money printer is going to go, you know, it's going to start soon again. So at this particular moment, my recommendation is for you that, you know, understand that Bitcoin is programmable scarcity. Okay. Same as gold. However, the problem with gold is that gold, you don't know how much supply there is for gold here. Okay. That's the problem. All right. So yes, gold is, I'm very bullish on gold. However, we don't know how much gold there actually is in the world. They can literally find a new gold mine somewhere, and before you know it, you know, the supply of gold is much bigger than it was before. So for that particular reason, we know exactly how many Bitcoin there are, right? There are 21 million Bitcoins. There will not be more than that. So for that reason, by default, you know, when you then integrate that programmable scarcity, right? We're talking about the mining rewards and so on and so on. It becomes much more scarce over time. It's literally programmed this way. Obviously, it will go up in value regardless of what the value of what the current price of the dollar is, or the currency, regardless of what the current value of the dollar is. Okay. Good luck with that one, if you know what I mean. But yeah, anyways. Next one will be better. Okay, how much will it be devaluated by then if Bitcoin hits 1 million, but the dollar loses 40% of its value? Then Bitcoin is repricing the existing system. Bitcoin is not going up. Fiat is just losing value. That's exactly what it is, right? So it's not about what the price of what the value of Bitcoin is. It's also what the value of Bitcoin is in comparison to what the value of the dollar is at that particular moment. So it's very hard to predict the price of Bitcoin in dollars, maybe in 2030. It almost seems impossible to come up with these predictions here. And I do not understand why not many people even think about it. The fact that the dollar might not be the dollar anymore in 6 or 7 years from now. That's just what it is. But we're going to find out. We're going to see. Okay. Yeah, that's it here. Ray says, I've only been stopped out on one trade since I started watching your streams. Wow. Beautiful, man. Amazing to hear. That's it, guys, for now. Okay. Bitcoin, once again, is now breaking below that crucial level. The 44.4 and the 44.25 was the absolute key level here. After that, we just started to really come down aggressively. You know, keep a close eye on these levels here. Now, the thing is, we're looking for this retest. Okay. Look at this zone here. It's super simple. Okay, you draw a box between the 44.7 and the 44.4. You wait for that retracement. You wait for that rejection. And if you get rejected here, all the short setups that you have analyzed, you know, no matter where they are here, maybe they're here, maybe they're up higher, can now be activated. That's the moment where you can start looking for, you know, that potential scenario where, you know, you can start really trying to get these trades here. You can also enter now, but the problem is, number one, where's your stop loss going to be? Number two, what happens if Bitcoin bounces up, right? Out of nowhere. You will get stopped out. Number three, you know, where is your take profit going to be? Is it going to be there? You're going to have a negative RR. You're not going to make a lot of money here. So that's why, you know, waiting for the right moment, waiting to act as a sniper, waiting for price to pull back towards these regions right here. It will save you money on fees. It will save you a lot of money on everything while just being patient for Bitcoin to turn this potential break into, you know, resistance. That initial support into previous resistance right there, or into current resistance. For the Tether dominance, it's the same thing. Okay, one more time. You're now breaking above here. You can still come back to 5.64%. You can come up to the 5.86%. That's the target, in my opinion, for Tether. Okay, which is going to be this local high right there. Okay, high, low, lower high, lower low. Internal high is broken, but now coming back to the top of that range here. So if Tether gets rejected there, you know, keep a close eye on it. If Tether comes down for the short term, that's when you see Bitcoin potentially looking for that bounce towards the upside here. Okay, so key level to look at. Yep. Hope that makes sense. Overall, I'm still bullish on altcoins in general. Don't get me wrong. We're still holding up here. Last thing I wanted to share was the following. We have been flipping this into support. Okay, this is that weekly resistance that we now have flipped into support right here. We still have a major gap above here. I still feel that there is just a lot more room for potential altcoins to make a potential run here. Yes, we are seeing a retracement now through Bitcoin. but I'm not really, that bearish yet on altcoins due to the fact that the Bitcoin dominance is absolutely getting destroyed at this particular moment. Okay, we're coming down aggressively. We do, however, have to need to see a weekly closure below. That would be nice for altcoins here. But if you compare the total one chart, okay, number one more time, compare the total one chart right now and look at this this particular zone. This is already in resistance right here. Okay, this is where we saw that breakout. Now go back to total 3 one more time. This is where we saw that breakout, and this is that resistance. So you see how much more the total 3 has to go here. The total 3 is the market, the total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So specifically altcoins, there is just much more runway still for these altcoins to make a run here. Okay, so without further ado, thank you guys so much. You're looking forward to it. See you all in Discord and in the crypto VIP. Looking forward to have you guys here. We have one more time me sharing or created a course especially for you. Keep you updated with the mented charts. Trader Tim is doing the same thing. Trader Tim is giving you the signals that are profitable. And then we have, of course, the master trader, one of our other master traders right here, Cowboy, doing the ASIN sessions right here, going over. Okay, we're back. We're back. Okay. We had some issues. Anyways, guys, take care. Okay, I'm going to see you in the crypto VIP. It was an absolute pleasure. Looking forward to see you next time here. Crush it this weekend. Let's talk in this channel. Let's keep each other updated about everything that's currently happening. Okay, in this weekend right here. Of course, we are still going to be trading the markets. So keep a very close eye on what we're sharing here. And again, be active, be committed, and you will make a bunch of money with us. It's time to change your life. It's 2024. It's time to turn up the volume and enjoy life here. Okay? See you next time, guys. Have a great day. Looking forward to see you soon back in Discord. Bye-bye.